Good evening, I'm Bill Beutel.
And I'm Roz Abrams, in for Diana Williams.
We'll have more on the Unabomber case in just a moment, but first, a plane crash that almost certainly killed Ron Brown. He was one of 33 people on board an Air Force jet when it crashed this morning in Croatia. The State Department says Brown is missing and presumed dead. There are apparently no survivors, and at this point, there is no sign that the plane was attacked by anybody. The State Department says the jet appears to have veered off course, then crashed into a cloud-covered hill just outside Dubrovnik in southern Croatia. Tonight, Croatian special forces have secured the area where the T-43 military jet went down. American rescue teams have had trouble getting there because the weather is so very bad.
They couldn't get in by helicopter. They're proceeding up now afoot. And I can't give you an exact time they're going to reach the crash site. They could be there at this very minute.
Some bodies have been recovered, but they have not yet been identified. Ron Brown was in the former Yugoslavia, leading a two-day American mission to Bosnia. He was traveling with several American business leaders trying to get U.S. companies involved in rebuilding the war-torn region. This morning he left Tuzla for Dubrovnik to attend a dinner tonight, but the T-43 military jet crashed only 2 miles northwest of the airport minutes after it lost contact with the tower.
There were no calls made indicating any kind of a problem aboard the aircraft. It appeared to be a routine approach.
The T-43 jet was used only last week to take the First Lady and daughter Chelsea to Turkey and the Defense Secretary to Bosnia. Today, after the President and Mrs. Clinton visited with the Brown family, the President paid tribute to his Commerce Secretary by reading a scriptural passage that Brown liked very much, a passage from the book of Isaiah.
They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and faint not. Well, Ron Brown walked and ran and flew through life. And he was a magnificent life force.
Ron Brown was scheduled to visit Sarajevo tomorrow before heading back home to Washington.
Brown was born in Washington, D.C., but his New York roots run deep. They stretch from Harlem to St. John's Law School. One of his professors there was Mario Cuomo, a liberal Democrat who helped Brown shape his life. Brown went on to reshape the Democratic Party. David Ushery is here with more. David.
Roz, Bill, Ron Brown was certainly a Washington insider, but his heart was in Harlem, where he grew up. Though he walked easily in the nation's elite political inner circle, he often returned to give something back to the neighborhood that he called home. 50 years ago, Ron Brown was a student at the Hunter College Elementary School on the East Side. 1 year ago, he came back to help raise money for a new playground that is still being built. At that time, the school presented him with its American Dream Award because the proud people here felt he had fulfilled it.
In the children's speeches and in my speech, we said, this is it, this is realizing the American dream. And he said, well, I don't know if I'm completely finished yet. I think I have more potential to do even more things for the country, you know, and for the world.
Ron Brown was always doing more things, from the days when his father was running the famous Hotel Teresa in Harlem, to days as a student at Middlebury College and later at St. John's Law School. Ron Brown was pushing the envelope towards achievement. His early career was shaped in the New York offices of the National Urban League.
It's not like he left Harlem. He always came back to Harlem. He was actively involved with a number of community groups up here. So he maintained those ties no matter the type of position that he had.
Sharpening his political skills here, Brown soared to the pinnacle of Washington power, reaching the presidential cabinet.
I say that President Clinton owes him a large share of the credit for being president of the United States because of the fashion in which he handled the national party.
So there is little wonder why Ron Brown will be missed in the White House, in the halls of Congress, in the streets of New York. Missed not only for what he achieved, but for what he had yet to accomplish.
Because it is us working together, different people from different places, different racial groups, different ethnic groups, men and women, working shoulder to shoulder and hand to make America all it can and should be.
We are told tonight that friends here rushed to comfort Ron Brown's ailing mother, who lives on the Upper West Side. A tragic, tragic story.
Okay, David, thank you very much. At least 3 local business leaders were among those traveling on Brown's plane. Claudio Ilia of Air and Water Technologies in Somerville, New Jersey, Walter Murphy of AT&T Submarine Systems in Morristown, and Robert Whitaker of Foster Wheeler Energy International in Clinton. And New York Times reporter Nathaniel Nash was covering the trip. He is also among those presumed to be dead. The plane they were flying on was a T-43, the military version of the Boeing 737. It was 23 years old and had 17,000 hours flight time, and that was not considered an extraordinary amount. The plane was last overhauled in June of 1995. It did not have a flight data recorder or cockpit voice recorder on board that might have helped investigators determine what happened and why.